something that's always scared me is the idea of mental disease, okay? Here's a big problem that we have, and we explore this a little bit when we talk about consciousness, okay? The problem with us as human beings is that as conscious creatures, everything that we observe is through the lens of our own consciousness. This is a very fucking scary idea, because you have no fucking idea, really, what's real and what's fake. You don't know that. All you have is your own ability to process things, and you can never, ever, ever step outside that, ever, no matter what you do. Well, with currently existing technology, you have no way of removing yourself from that frame of reference. You're permanently stuck there. Now, it sounds a little bit, dude, now it sounds a little bit stoner bro to say like, you don't know what's real or what's fake, but these are issues that you have to deal with in many ways, whether you like it or not. Later in life, if you've seen people that have Alzheimer's or dementia or schizophrenics, right? These are people who are fully convinced that the reality that they perceive is the reality that is real, but it disagrees with every other observer on the planet, right? So obviously something is wrong with them. But if you were that person, how could you ever know that, right? If you're a person with Alzheimer's, how could you remember what you've forgotten? You can't. You're everything about your personal perception is totally fucked, right? If you have schizophrenia, how can you perceive a real voice from a fake one? If you're suffering from ADHD, how do you deal with an intrusive thought? If your personal frame of reference is tainted, it's not like you can just say like, my consciousness is, you know, a little bit fucky right now. It's my entire existence is predicated on this foundation that is now fucked, and there's nothing I can do to escape that. Right? That's not good. It's a scary thought that later in life your mental faculty will fail you, and you may lack the ability to perceive that, because everything is based on your conscious self, right? That's really fucked. These people are totally lost. They're completely fucking lost. They're totally lost, but they don't even realize it. Like, how could you let yourself get to that point? So you have to protect yourself at all times. I think you need to engage in behaviors that are constantly challenging your ideas, and make sure you don't get lost in some fucking echo chamber, okay? Because if you've been doing the same shit for 10 years without ever challenging your idea, you're probably already lost to the world. Your mind is probably already some unchangeable thing that will never recover from the amount of circle jerking that has ever happened, okay? Challenge yourself constantly, okay? Don't circle jerk. Don't be an echo chamber. Engage with things on a critical level. Don't let yourself rot. Don't embrace the mental rot that so many people seem content to do by just circle jerking opinions that make you comfortable without ever having to think about anything, all right? Everything that I say may not apply to you. I might just be like some fucked up person and it only works for me, but one of the things that I'm grateful for is I had an immense amount of independence growing up. I was insanely independent, okay? But being independent means that every single idea I had, it was always combative. If I believed something, no one else around me believed it, so I would have to defend that idea. That's something that I learned growing up. In high school, you know, if I had an idea in high school, I would have to test that idea. There were a lot of Democrats that went to my school, believe it or not, and I was very Republican, so I argued a ton with people. But I mean, like, there are pros and cons, I guess. The cons is you don't have friends. I don't give a fuck about that. But the pros are you learn that every idea you have, you must justify. I think you should be afraid of having friends that agree with you. That should be a very scary thing.
I love you, idiot.
And I've grown to such a point, like, I don't know. I'm so, this is why I say, like, I'm really lucky in the way that I grew up. Like, if I want to immerse myself in something, it's always going to be in the opinions of somebody that I disagree with. I don't enjoy listening to people that I agree with. This is why I don't watch all the ContraPoints videos. I don't watch much Sean and Jen, but this is why I will watch videos from Sargon. I will listen to, I will listen to Fox News and the local radio host every day. Like, you should want, in my opinion, you should want to be challenged constantly. You don't want a group of friends. Like, nothing scares me more than the Skype chats where you jump in or you go onto Twitter and you've got your group of 55 people where you circle jerk with. I got invited to one of those groups. I'm not shit talking people in those groups. And maybe sometimes it could be healthy, but nothing is scarier to me than the idea that, like, it's like an iceberg. It's like an iceberg where you think. You think that you have a person that is like challenging themselves, right? Because maybe they put this much of themselves out there, but every single time somebody challenges their ideas even a little bit, they retreat back to this 50 million friends, the 50 million Skype groups, the 50 million subreddits, the 50 million news sites, the real life friends, all the people that will go and reaffirm every opinion that they had. Don't do this. Don't be this guy that you get challenged out here and then you retreat to your circle jerk. It was like, oh, this guy was so fucking dumb, right? He was so wrong, right? He was so wrong, right? He was so stupid. He was so crazy, right? Oh my God, right? That guy was so dumb, right? I don't want to challenge any of my beliefs. Like, everything is here. You know, like, don't be this guy. Don't do that. Don't be the guy that has to be in the group with 50 million people that always agree with every single thing they say, because like Here's a question that I ask myself always, okay? This is one of the most important... Are you ready? This is one of the most important questions in life that you can ask yourself about an idea, okay? This is so fucking important. And it's the easy way to find out if somebody is honest with themselves or not, okay? What would it take to convince you that you're wrong? These are questions that you should always be asking yourself. If you ever have a belief that you feel so strongly in that you can't be persuaded against it, then that belief has become something less than logic and reason and more into like faith or some core unshakable belief that nothing should ever be. When you see people that you perceive to be as incredibly intelligent and it seems like they have some unshakable belief that they're totally irrational, that should be frightening to you. I guess I'm not saying that you need to be combative like all the time, but just be open to change. I don't know. Because I'm always open to change my mind, okay? I am. I really am. If you show me data, if you show me empirical data that betrays my point, I will reconsider my point. I will always do this. And you should do it too, okay? I'm sorry, can I clarify? Let me step back and clarify. When I say you need to be combative, I don't mean that you need to combat other people. I was speaking about it in an introspective sense. You need to be combative with yourself. When I say be combative, what I mean is that I have an idea, okay? I think that CNN puts out decent work, okay? That's an idea that I'm willing to test at every single point in time. That's what I mean by combative. Not like I'm gonna go on the streets and scream, fuck you, CNN is the best shit in the world, fuck off, fuck you, Breitbart, fuck you, InfoWars. That's not what I mean by being combative. What I just mean is I have an idea and I'm willing to challenge this idea at any point in time. Let's argue about it, right? Or not even argue about it, but I'm going to reevaluate this idea based on new evidence, right? Somebody links something, that maybe soy really is, gives you huge man boobs and a small dick, right? Okay, well, fuck it. Let's challenge this idea. No idea is unchallengeable, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Not that you literally need to fight over all of your ideas. Don't be circle jerkers, okay? My ultimate scared idea is being trapped in my own thoughts and then realizing 10 or 15 or 20 years down the line, or never realizing that you've been wrong about something that you never were willing to reconsider, okay? Don't do that. Don't be that guy.